What's up, everyone? It's Anna, also known as that Star Wars girl, and today I'm going to be talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, for everyone that is not aware, I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. So this review, it's not going to have any spoilers, but I am a bit biased when it comes to Quentin Tarantino and his films. Reservoir Dogs is one of my favorite movies. I also love Pulp Fiction. I also love Django, and Kill Bill, I prefer the second one to the first one solely because of Bill's monologue where he talks about Superman. I think that is one of the greatest, 3 minutes of cinema I have ever seen in my entire life, and it's based solely on the dialogue in that scene, and that's one thing that Quentin Tarantino never fails to have in his films is fantastic dialogue, and then that's matched up with the opposite of, you have that level of intelligence and integrity and passion, and you show the other side of humanity where they throw that to the curb and they just let the complete animalistic nature take over, where people are just completely overtaken by their wrath in the heat of the moment. And that's something that Quentin Tarantino has done that I have seen no other director accomplish to the level that he has, and it's one of the reasons why I love his films so much. So going into this movie, I was excited. I was excited to see Brad Pitt make his comeback. I know, at least for me, in my opinion, his movies, they, after the 90s into the early 2000s, he kind of had to take a step away from his, iconic film makingness because, he got married and he had 6 freaking kids. And now that he's gone through the divorce, I honestly think this is one of his comeback films. This movie is 100% Brad Pitt showing that he's still got it and that he's still a freaking badass. This is Brad Pitt's freaking movie. Leo did a phenomenal job. Not taking anything away from Leo. He was great. But this was really Brad Pitt is the badass of the movie. Leo has the amazing dialogue. So when you're looking for that Quentin Tarantino take where, hey, like Reservoir Dogs, beginning of the movie, let's sit down, let's have a 10-minute scene where we're just going to talk about whether or not you should tip a waitress. Guess what? I always wait for that scene because it's not a Quentin Tarantino movie unless you're talking about something and you have that, intense little dialogue between characters, which might not have anything to do with the plot, but it's important to, that scene in the movie, and that's one of my biggest takeaways from a Quentin Tarantino film. You got the whether you should tip or not, you got, oh, this is what you call a quarter pounder in, Europe, because they use the metric system. You got stuff like that. You got, hey, let me explain to you why Superman is my favorite character, because when Superman wakes up in the morning, he's freaking Superman. He's not Bruce Wayne, he's not Peter Parker, he's freaking Superman. Those scenes in a Quentin Tarantino film is what I live for. And then you have the exact opposite scenes, which I didn't know this until I saw the trailer, that this movie was about the Mansons, and you get that. But this, I would say, is more of the Inglourious Bastard side, where you got history, you got this thing that would happen in history, but this is very much a what if, and I would use that to describe this entire movie. Take that point in history, take these people, and what if this happened instead of this? What about this? What if this? That is, I think, the overarching arc of this. And I apologize, it is 2:42 in the morning. I decided to film this as an initial reaction right after getting home. So I do apologize if my words get kind of jumbled. I am very tired, but this movie, it was great. It was Quentin, but he's very much mellowed out, and I feel like there's a scene in this film, one of the dialogue scenes in this film, that is kind of an ode to where he is at in life. And I feel like it is an overarching theme in this film, not only with where Quentin Tarantino is at in his life, but also Brad Pitt, Leo. We're humans. We only live a certain amount of time, and, in the time that we're given, when you get to a certain point, which is kind of that halfway mark, you start thinking about life differently because you were young for so long and now you finally are hitting that point and things are going to be different from here on out until the end. And that movie really touches on it, and it shows that Quentin, without spoiling anything, he's mellowed out a lot. I can think of Pulp Fiction, think of Reservoir Dogs, think about all the blood, all the gore, even in Inglourious Bastards. But guess what? Times are changing. This is still Quentin. You got the ultimate intelligence that humans can reach with that integrity, and then you have the animalistic. And you put that together, you put Leo, you put Brad, which is a great dynamic duo. They play off each other so well, and when you have such raw talent put together, and they could not be more different of characters, but the way that they work together, the way that these two men are in this situation, the way that Brad Pitt handles the situation, the way that Leo handles the situation, things couldn't fall better. And I can quote, I was going to say Ace Ventura, but that's the wrong movie. Bruce Almighty, that's how the cookie crumbles. And I would say that if you're going into this expecting Inglourious Bastards, expecting Django, expecting Reservoir Dogs, it's not going to be that. It's not. Well, I feel like maybe because I'm so used to Quentin Tarantino movies as far as the blood, the gore, the violence, it's not heavy like the other Tarantino movies are. Like I said, it's very mellow, but that is explained in the dialogue scene where the thing about the thing that happens with the certain point that you get into life. And again, I'm very biased. I love Quentin Tarantino. I love the things that he does. And this is more of a movie for, if you love Quentin Tarantino, if you have followed his journey, you will understand this movie and it's going to hit you in the feels. And the ending is freaking great. And just a warning, I guess this could be the only spoiler I have in it, which isn't a spoiler to the plot at all. There is a lot of feet in this movie, so be prepared for that. It is, very much in your face. This is what feet look like, especially women's feet. It's Quentin. It's Quentin. So, if you're going to go see this and you're not the biggest Quentin Tarantino fan, there is a lot of odes to who he is as a person, his film style, even the language style that he uses in this movie, and the dynamics between characters. Heck, he even has he always has his go-to guys that he has. They are in there, at least a few of them are. You can spot them if you know who to look for. They're in there. I got excited when I saw my favorite character from Reservoir Dogs. I guess that can be the only spoiler, even though I already said there was a spoiler. I am sorry. It is almost 3 a.m. I am exhausted. But somebody once asked me I'm a huge David Bowie fan, and they asked me, how should I listen to David Bowie? Should I start at this album? Should I start at this album? My answer to that is start at the beginning and follow their journey. If you are not the biggest Quentin Tarantino fan, you don't have to do this. It would just be my recommendation. You want to watch this movie? It's a great standalone film, but if you want to understand the director and the man behind it, go back, watch his journey and see how it evolves and see how the dialogue plays not only into the character's life but into his life as well, and how his films, his directing, his writing, how everything that he has done over the years has evolved for you to appreciate this film to the fullest extent you can. And this is one that I love. I loved it. I don't say that about movies very often, but I loved this film. I loved what he did with Brad. I loved what he did with Leo. I loved, even Margot Robbie's part. Or I never say a name. I always say Margot, but it's Margot. I got yelled at for that. But, I mean, when you put a T in it, I'm American. I'm going to say Margot because that's what it looks like. But I get it. It's Margot. The way he does it, very much a mature Quentin Tarantino as compared to if he would have done this back in the 90s when he was making Pulp Fiction, when he was making Inglourious Basterds. Actually, I think Inglourious Basterds was in the early 2000s. I don't know. I just remember I rented it from Blockbuster. Gosh, I remember the person at Blockbuster warned my parents, like, oh, there's a lot of German in it. And I was like, oh, cool, I can learn German. And they're like, you're going to watch it? And I was like, yes. I know I'm small for my age, but it's not like I'm a child, But anyway, that's beside the point. It's a great film. I loved it. If you are not the biggest Tarantino fan, you can still appreciate it. But it might not be what you expect. But that being said, I love this movie. So I hope you all enjoyed this review. Again, didn't do any spoilers. No spoilers. So the person, where the heck is that t-shirt? The person that sent me this t-shirt, thank you. This is the best t-shirt ever. I think it describes me to a T, but I think I did a good job of not giving any spoilers. So again, I hope you all enjoyed this review. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, that's okay too. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure you click the little bell. That way you get notifications when I do other videos and live streams. And I've gotten a couple messages from people telling me that they didn't get notifications that my last video came out. I know this happens to my friends' channels. So this is the first time I'm hearing about it on my channel. So make sure that that bell is clicked. For some reason, YouTube is deciding to uncheck it so people aren't getting notifications. So just make sure that that is clicked. And everyone, have a great rest of your day. I'm about to go to bed because, like I said, it's like almost 3 in the morning. So when this video does premiere, it will be nice and sunny out during the day. So until next time, everyone, have a great rest of your day or night for me. And until next time, may the force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye, everyone. What's up, everyone? I have a P.O. box, so if you want to send me some mail, go ahead and send it to Anna, That Star Wars Girl, or TSWG for short, at P.O. Box number 28171, Santa Ana, California, 927998171. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much.